Okay, so this is finally your professional Supercross debut, a little later than planned. But do you feel like the Futures race in St. Louis has helped at all?
Yeah, I mean, maybe a little bit, just more experience, more time under the lights. Obviously, it didn't go how I wanted. I had a pretty big crash, but yeah, just the more seat time I can get, the more track time obviously helps a little bit. But yeah, I'm excited to be here and get out and race with the big dogs.
Was it like hard for you to get motivated for that Futures race? Because really, I would imagine you were sat on the start thinking, I just need to make it through this, get what I need, and move on to the big ranks.
Yeah, it's definitely, it was a change of plans, and you kind of have to just mentally adjust to that. But yeah, it wasn't too bad. I wasn't too mad about it, you know, just get more time, obviously. So yeah, it ended up not being a terrible thing, but yeah, a little later start than we wanted. But we got a few rounds to get more experience and get some results.
Have you got any expectations for this weekend?
I really just want to go out and learn, you know, just learn every single weekend, every single lap, and just see what it's like out there with those guys, because you don't know until you know. So yeah, I'm just excited.
That's a nice part about jumping in halfway through, right? Like, there's no championship pressure, you don't have to look at points, you can just go race from race and try to get better each time.
Exactly, just I get to come in, no expectations, and just go have fun on my dirt bike and enjoy the weekend, and yeah, just have a good time.
Okay, so you definitely turned a corner before the weekend off. Maybe not so much results-wise, but certainly riding.
Yeah.
So how do you boost the confidence to go along with that?
Yeah, confidence is definitely way up. Obviously, results haven't been where I want, because obviously I believe I should be on the podium or at least top 5 fighting for, you know, wins and battles. But luckily, I'm battling with the right guys now. I'm in a better position. I'm riding more comfortable. So yeah, confidence is definitely climbing. Obviously, yeah, the last round was a little tough, but it was good to have an off weekend, regroup, shut off, and ride a little motocross. That was nice, and obviously ride Supercross still to be ready for Foxborough this weekend.
Have you mentally moved on to outdoors already, or are you still quite focused on ticking a box across these next 5 races?
Gosh, I definitely would have thought I would have had some more race wins and some more podiums. So yeah, I'm definitely very invested in Supercross still. But yes, at the same time, I want to be prepared for outdoors as well. I would say, you know, we're not where I want to be yet for outdoors, so we're going to obviously keep working on that, getting better and better. But all in all, fitness is good, feeling good, healthy. Bike is working good for me. So yeah, motocross, Supercross, whatever it is, just hit the throttle and hold on.
Let's say that across these next 5 races you get 2 podiums. Would that be enough for you to be happy? Or are we far past that point?
No, that would make me happy for sure. Some podiums would be nice. Obviously, like I said, I expected to you know, win some races this year, and it just didn't go that way, unfortunately. But there's still more races. There's still a lot more chances. Everyone gets to line up on the same gate, puts their boots on the same, and so yeah, you know, I'm still gonna go for it. Try to get that nice win. You know, why not? But yeah, some podiums would be good. That'd be, you know, make me happy for sure. But you know, just anything, good riding, good starts, improving, and you know, being in that fight. That's all I can really ask for at this point.
When you've been working through your struggles this year, how much have you looked back to Supercross last year? Because as we've said, you were so good. So like, have you been comparing notes a lot with yourself and being like, okay, I'm the same rider. Like personally, as a person, as a rider, I feel the same. So it is this.
You know, I would say this year's been a lot more difficult than even previous years, just because I feel like I've had to deal with a lot more things than I've dealt with previously, with like just handling a lot more things, like team things, having a lot more conversations, and just like working through the struggles. So I feel like I've taken a lot more on my plate this year, which I don't know why that is, but I feel like I've had to do that. So that's been a lot more stressful. So the last few weeks, I've been able to try to take a step away from that and focus on, like I told the team, like, hey, listen, like, nothing against anybody, but can I just go ride my dirt bike? Like, that's where I want to be at. I just want to ride my dirt bike and have fun and enjoy it. And these last 2 weeks, I feel like I've been able to do that, and so that makes me happy. But yes, I look back, and I was, you know, I had some good races last year. I was in good places. I was having a lot of fun. So yeah, it's a little tough pill to swallow, because I expected a lot more this year. Obviously, the injuries coming into this season, you know, held me back a little. My fitness wasn't where I wanted it to be, but my fitness hasn't been an issue for, for months. So I feel good that way, and I'm comfortable on the bike now. Obviously, little changes here or there, but it's more clickers than anything now. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this weekend. I feel like it's been a wet Friday, so we'll see what the track looks like tomorrow, and just go out there and try to have fun and enjoy it.
2 more quick ones. Looking back now, obviously there's been a lot of talk about bike setup this year, but at the start of the season, did you and us as media underplay the injuries and how far behind the 8 ball you were? Like, were you telling us it's okay when you were much further off?
No, I believe I was all right. Like, so no matter what, like, I was good enough to, if I could have been comfortable on the bike, I could have did, maybe 10, 15 minutes up front, but I wasn't in that position comfort-wise on the bike, and I believe with a little bit I can take a little responsibility for that because I was working to get stronger, get through the injury, so I didn't have a ton of time to test. So I believe like maybe the KTM guys, the Husky guys were a step ahead of me on, oh man, there's an issue here. I didn't maybe realize there was an issue so soon. So I think I kind of caught the tail end of it. But all in all, I was definitely a little behind the 8 ball on my training with the collarbones and stuff. But all in all, we're here now. We're good. We still got some more races left, so let's go at it.
And last one, you did do some outdoor riding. Was it promising early on, or does it seem like you maybe have opened the lid on a new set of problems?
Obviously, it's different again. We changed the bike a lot since last year's outdoors, so yeah, we'll see. I didn't really do any testing, like the team didn't come out to Florida or anything. I just did some riding and just kind of seeing where we're at. Obviously, I think, we got to do a lot of work to get a good setup, but all in all, I just kind of wanted to ride and put in some motos and, and enjoy riding dirt bikes.
Can we do a bonus question?
Yeah, bonus, hit me.
Okay, how has it been with Anstie teaching him how to ride aggressive and how to deal with that? And what was your reaction when he came to you and went, can you rough me up a little bit?
I loved it. I said, yeah, no problem, Max.
And then just T-boned
say less, dude. Max is a nice kid. I like him a lot. He's a really good rider. I learned stuff from him as well. He's really fluid, smooth on the bike. So if I can take a little bit of him and he can take a little bit of me, it's a perfect scenario. So yeah, I've been really enjoying riding with MTF guys, and the Star guys come out some days, and that's what it's all about, just riding. Yeah, maybe all these guys aren't my buddies, but it's, that's what we grew up doing, riding with your buddies, having fun. So for me, going to MTF, riding with those guys, dicing it up, having some fun, I couldn't ask for anything more. And then Max asked me, like, hey, be a bit aggressive with me. All right, dude, let's go. This is going to be great. And it has been a lot of fun.
A lot of your rivals would have used this break to get ahead on outdoors, do some motocross riding, which breaks up the Supercross stuff. You're not contracted to do that, so you would have just been doing Supercross laps, Supercross laps, Supercross laps. So did it feel more like a pain in the arse, and like you were just going through the motions, the same thing over and over?
Well, I mean, with one weekend off, it would have been nice to have a little break and a reset, but yeah, we've had 3. It's given me some time to work on some areas, just specifically on the Supercross. Obviously, yeah, we don't have. I haven't done any outdoor laps, so for me, a few areas needed some work. I had the first week of not doing too much, but then the second week and the third week, we tested a lot with the bike. We tried to. I mean, it's always hard to say whether you've made a step or not until you come to a race. In certain areas, I feel like we're better. We've been trying to improve the starts. So, I actually did a couple days testing with Marty. Marty put his gear on. We had the race bike and the practice bike. We had all different setups, and we ended up right back where we started. But then we have from then, gone a couple of steps in a different direction. Just hopefully, be more competitive in that area, which I think we will be. And it feels good so far the last few days riding. Been riding with the Star guys a little bit when they ride at MTF. I rode with the West guys one of the days, and then obviously the East guys when they've been back on Supercross. So I've just been kind of doing my thing. Rode with Barcia a little bit. Rode with Justin Barcia. That's been kind of cool. Went to his place again, different track, different setup there. Been kind of fun just to do some motos and work on some different things, and also put myself in situations that are a little bit uncomfortable. Many guys would probably think, riding in front of Barcia would be a little uncomfortable. So I was like, right, I want to learn that, and he's been riding really well at the practice track. So him trying to set me up to pass me, I wanted to kind of put myself in that position to figure it out, and you know, because that's something that I feel like I want to improve on or you know, work on in the 250 class. You know, being more assertive with certain things, and but you know, that's the way it is. Constantly trying to be better and do what we can do in this break to hopefully come out for these last 3, then a weekend off, then Salt Lake. So last 4 rounds swinging.
When you did all of that testing and ended up right back where you started, what were you trying to achieve?
Starts, basically, see if, you know, myself and Marty, he had different start techniques to me. You know, I've adapted my technique for this bike, and we tried different gearing, different everything basically. But with what we had, what I was using was the best setup basically. So we went a slightly different direction with some, it's still kind of gearing stuff. Seeing if that made a step, and I think it has now. So yeah, it's just kind of moving the bike around a little bit just to see if we can, you know, get that jump on the start. Because of course there's a lot of good 250s, and the guys have all made their starts better, it seems, from last year. So and the tracks have been soft. Like every weekend we've had rain. Again, it's raining here today. So the start straights on basically every round that we've done have been soft, even the indoor ones, because it was raining when they brought the dirt in. So the start is like either super tacky or kind of bogging the bike down. So been working on that, but again, yeah, we're here, we're ready to rock and roll. Yeah, happy. If
you ended up back where you started, how can you be confident that your starts will be better here?
Oh no, we've changed it since then now.
Oh,
so okay. Again, we did it again.
So there was another period of testing.
Yes, but we didn't have 2 bikes at that point, so I wasn't going head to head with Marty. I was just doing it on my own.
You've been busy.
Yeah. So to be honest, it's been nice because I've been able to just focus on that. You know, I haven't had to. I mean, riding outdoors would have been fun. Like, I've got no, you know, I like riding outdoors, but when there's things you want to work on in Supercross, if you're winning every race and then you're like, oh, you know, I want to go ride outdoors, then fair enough. But you know, the last few weren't up to par where we would have liked to have been. So just trying to go and figure those things out and see what we can do and make small changes to be better.
Your practice track battles with Barcia, where he roughs you up a little bit, do you feel like it works because you must still have that trust where he's not going to really do you dirty? So subconsciously, although you know he's coming in hot, you must be like, it's fine, because he's not going to, like, it's fine, he's not going to clean me out.
Oh, at the end of the day...
So is it actually progress?
Look, yeah, at the end of the day, you've got to have... I've got respect for all of the top guys, and from the outside looking in, whether you Bam Bam, Justin Barcia, yeah, he's arguably one of the toughest guys to pass, or if he's behind you, that's going to make a pass. But that's a quality that he has that, you know, I'd like to improve on a little bit myself, you know, and I'm about that. I'm about trying to learn, and you know, my time training used to suck when I was in GPs, and I've worked with Marty, and I've taken that, and I've got 2 out of the last 2 qualifying, I've been on top. So just trying to do what I can to learn, and Justin's, you know, we know each other. We can talk. Like I say, come on, send it in on there with me. And to be honest, I was a bit wet the first few times he did it. I was like, oh, okay.
You just rode off the track at any
wasn't
time.
Quite sure. No, he was fast, and it's hard. We've got, like, my arms were hurting. I was in front, but then a couple of times it's got a little better. I mean, we've only done it a few times, but it's one of those where, yeah, everyone. No one wants to go out their way to do something dirty or do something that's going to put either of you at jeopardy. That's not the way it goes. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people have speculation in the last few weeks of what's gone on there, but that's not for me to say. As far as I'm concerned, with me, we've been pushing each other, and it's fun for me, well, fun for him, for me to be the carrot sometimes, and he's trying to chase me or whatever. But I did go ride his track the other day, and man, he's got a lot of quads there, and I was struggling on the 250. I couldn't even. He was absolutely, yeah, he was riding really well there. So no, when we're somewhat close at MTF, or you know, relatively within reason, then it's been fun to do that. But again, I just use it as opportunities when I've got no testing to do and I'm just doing my motos to break it up, instead of just beating the laps out of trying to just go as fast as you can. Try and actually use your brain a little bit and think about some different things and make it a bit more interesting.
Okay, so first off, recently, I feel like you've been going in a very good direction, trending more towards where you should be.
Yep.
I'm not sure you've been recognised for that though. Do you notice that? Do you think about what you could do to maybe get more recognition on your results?
Yeah, it's kind of tough. Like, obviously, I want to be better. I've had a good 250 career to where it's like, hey, I'm up at the front and I'm up there consistently. Whereas I feel like recently I have been up at the front consistently. In the beginning, like with my starts, they've gotten more consistent. And I like St. Louis, my last moto, it's like, oh, dude, Shane's on TV. So it's like, all right, cool. I get to watch myself a little bit just to see things, because unless we're doing video, like literally watch the whole race and you never see anything outside of the first couple guys. So not necessarily from a recognition standpoint, but it's like I want to watch. I want to see from different perspectives. Like, what are these guys doing compared to what I'm doing? And is it a line choice thing? Is it they're doing this on their bike or whatever? So I think I am going in a really good direction. That's been kind of confirmed week to week at the practice track and just practice times, and yeah, just physically feeling really good and being able to put the time in. And then my starts have been getting more consistent, which has given me that experience up at the front, learning the pace to where we can set the bike up more for that. That's where we've really been chasing it this year. Is for so long the bike was good at the practice track, and that our practice track breaks down, but it doesn't get like how rough the racetracks have been, and that's where I've really been struggling. So trying to bridge that gap between setting it up at the practice track to not be super good at the practice track, and it's like, yeah, I'm struggling with it here, but I'm not worried about that because when I get to the race it's going to be better. So yeah, it's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of fun work. The team has been really good. It's been really patient, and we every week we leave the races with a game plan, with things that we know we need to work on, and we go and we work on those things. And so then coming into this weekend, it's like I'm rested. I've worked on things and I'm ready to go again.
Would it be safe to say that the good starts have come from the confidence that you've got from trending in the right direction?
100%, yeah. And that's, for me, that's where I believe the whole race starts. It's like there's two races that happen on the racetrack. It's the start and then after the first corner. And there are guys, maybe a handful of guys, that can get a bad start and come all the way through the field. And it's like, I mean, everybody doesn't like Vince Freeze, but it's like Vince Freeze is really good at putting himself in a position. It's like, why don't we all work on starts and try to do that? So it's, for me, I feel like I am a good starter, and I try to give myself an opportunity to learn, because it's like, hey, if I get a 10th place start and I finish 10th, it's like, how much did I learn, or what did I gain from that? If I get a 2nd place start and I fade to 10th, then it's like, dude, great. Like I raced 8 different guys throughout that race. I learned a little bit about each one of them. Maybe I learned where I'm at fitness-wise and whatever. So yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. And for me, I try not to even think about the race, because that's going to happen once you get out there. It's like there's things that you can control, things you can't control, and I want to control the start the best I can, because that, to me, sets the tone of the race.
And mentally preparing for the start, I guess there's a degree of like, you can't be afraid of failure. 100%. Because if you want to get the whole shot and then you get the whole shot and finish 10th, you could beat yourself up about that. You're almost putting yourself out there more than ever, and 100%. You've got to be, you've got to be ready for that.
And what you just said is what a lot of people are afraid to face. It's like, oh, dude, if I could just get a start, if I could just get a start. Well, it's like, I hate getting passed. It's embarrassing to get the whole shot and finish 14th. But it's like, I'm gonna figure it out one of these times, and it's like, you know what? I'm gonna race 3% better. I'm gonna race 3% better each time that happens. And I mean, dude, it's, yes, every now and then somebody will, like, I mean, Chase has timed the gate a few times, which has been crazy, but it's like, obviously Chase is at the front all the time, but it's like, you may get guys that time the gate every now and then that like rip a good start, but it's like, can you consistently be willing to kind of drop your pride? Like, hey, I don't care how many people pass me, I'm getting a good start and I'm putting myself there. And that's hard to overcome.
And I feel like this time last year, you weren't mentally in that place.
Yeah.
Just from talking to you, I feel like you were struggling with that mental, that mental battle of like where you fit in, where you should be. So how have you reached this place of contentment?
Yeah, well, there is the mental part of it. We've made a lot of changes to the bike. Last year, we didn't. So the bike is really fast, and that was something that I really struggled with last year. Is like, it's really hard to control on the start. And so this year, from really the get-go, we made engine changes before we made any suspension changes, and that's really helped our progress suspension-wise, because I can ride the bike consistently. And last year, it's like really my one good start came in Denver when I got, I think, 5th, and we were at altitude. Yeah. But that race, we didn't make any changes to my bike, whereas everybody else kind of changed their bike because we're going to altitude, whereas mine, I was like, no, I don't want to make any changes because I want it slower. And in turn, that was my best race. So there is, and that's just for me specific, it's like, I want to be able to ride the bike hard. And when I can do that, I can control it with the clutch and the throttle. And that's really, consistently being able to do that this year has really helped that. But just the chassis being able to be developed just brings that confidence, which then it's like, hey, I want to get a good start. Hey, I want to race these guys. I want to be uncomfortable because I believe I can be there. I just need the experience.
See, it's funny because I remember that Denver start last year, and mentally I put it down to the fact it was a depleted field, so you were then prepared to put yourself out there more, knowing that there was a higher chance of success. But not that at all?
Yes and no. But it's like, because we're at altitude so much, it's like we start in first gear there, and the power is so restricted because of the air. And so this year, some of the changes we've made to my bike have been that direction. Like I'm on a stock head, and I have an insert in my exhaust to close off the restrictions so that there's less power on the bike. And now it's like my starts have been more consistent, my clutch has been more consistent, and it's just, mentally, yes, I am more confident this year, but there are other things that play into that too. Yeah.
Last question, and completely different. We don't know what the plan is with World Supercross yet. We are nearly certain it's just going to be 450s only. Presumably Kenny, Kyle, and yourself all want to race that. So do you know if you're in? How does that decision get made?
That's a good question. I do believe we all are contracted for it. So yeah, we've been busy with Supercross here. We haven't had those conversations yet. So we need to get on that. And I think I don't think I've even seen the tentative schedule yet.
I think it's...
So it's, I don't know what it looks like at all. Maybe the team does, but yeah, we need to have those conversations.
Right, before the weekend off, you established some momentum and you were going in the right direction. So was the weekend off a pain in the arse? Like, would you have rather continued that on?
No, I was kind of actually sick in St. Louis. I don't know if it was allergies or what I had going on, but I remember the next morning I was literally like crying in the airport because my eyes were watering so bad. So I wanted some time off. I mean, I rode Tuesday right when I got home still, but there was just some things I wanted to work on with my bike. So I got to ride a few days, and then I obviously went and raced my mountain bike some. But I did try some stuff with my bike. I ended up going back to what I was already on. But no, I was ready for a little bit of change of pace. It was just it had been kind of a grind moto-wise. So just to kind of do something else and be at home a little bit was nice.
How much progress can you actually make at this point in the season? Like, we're 12 rounds in. Do you feel like you've exhausted all of your options, or is there still a lot to try and learn and improve?
No, I think there's still, especially guys who have had like rough seasons, it's almost better because you can make like a big leap forward and almost hit like a reset button. Guys who are like riding momentum, maybe the week off isn't great for him. But I mean, I was kind of like middle of the road, right? I wasn't doing great, but I also was getting back on the right track of results-wise. But like I said, I was ready for a little bit of a break. So I think it can go both ways for people. But like for myself, it was nice to kind of get a little bit of a refresher and then be able to kind of hammer out these last 5 rounds with a bit of energy, because sometimes it can be a drag. You
say that you weren't doing great, but like, what is great in your mind? What do you qualify as, this is my peak, I guess, if you want to put it that way?
I mean, like right now, I wish I was more around like 15th, battling with those guys. You know, like being able to battle with Vince in the main event would have been more ideal at, where were we, St. Louis. I mean, I passed him in the LCQ. I know I have the speed. I lost a bit of that intensity and that consistency in the mains. So I feel like a 15th right now is really good. But I mean, like, I've gotten 10th to 13th before with a stacked field. I mean, yeah, some of those finishes come with a few DNFs and stuff like that, but that stuff does happen. And I wish I could have capitalized on some guys' bad motos at St. Louis, and I just didn't. I mean, I had decent moto finishes, and I was the lowest finishing guy. So it kind of sucked, but at least I had moments of brilliance, like I said, and my speed's been there at the races, so that's all that really matters.
You were very respectful around the blue flags in St. Louis. Like, well done, but you need to find a fine line between respectful enough but still racing. How do you do that? Like, I feel like that's the toughest line possible to walk.
Yeah, it's more or less just having the mentality that the other dudes don't matter. Like, it sucks because I'm mentally trying to put myself in the position that, like, I only need to care about the front 3 guys. Like, let the front 3 guys by, and then if anybody else laps me, it's like, screw them.
Yeah.
Like, they can figure it out. And I feel like as long as I kind of treat, you know, 4th through whoever back the same, rather than like try and bob and weave and stuff like that, I'll be better off. Like, let the first 3 guys by nice and clean, and then that's kind of the mentality I'm gonna start riding with, because, you know, usually the best dudes are the ones at the front. So, and I mean, let's be honest, if you're lapping me, you're probably going a second to 3 seconds faster than me a lap.
Yeah.
So, like, you shouldn't have an issue passing me normal. So, and I'm not gonna like swerve in front of you, but yeah, I'm gonna take on the Justin Hill approach and just kind of go with it and say screw it, because I'm tired of losing spots because of the blue flag.
But you say the top 3 riders are that much better, they should be able to figure it out. But I feel like you need to convince yourself of that, because that's not something for you to say to them. You need to know that to hold your ground.
I've been saying it out loud to myself a lot lately, because yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's hard to stay mentally strong when someone's waving this flag in your face for 2 laps and no one's passing you. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep saying it to myself out loud until I make it true. And maybe next season, you know, like around A1, I'll get a big pit board and I'll just write it in letters, "The blue flag means nothing," and stick it in front of me.
Last one. Do you actually only start thinking about this when you see the blue flag, or a quarter of the way into the main event, are you already subconsciously going, maybe they're coming, oh, they must be getting near, oh, there they are? Like, is it that much of a quote-unquote problem?
No, I don't really think about it until I start seeing the flag. But the biggest annoyance to, I think, all of us is just how early they give it to us. But because, I mean, sometimes I'll get it for 2 laps before I actually get lapped. And by the end of those 2 laps, I'm done thinking about them, because it's just like, I can't keep looking back. I have to worry about myself. So we're just chugging along with that. I've made my complaints to the right people and tried to get things changed, and you know, they can take my opinion for what it's worth. But yeah, like I said, I'm just gonna try and not think about it. You know, I'm gonna ride my race, and when it's convenient to me, I'm gonna get out of the way.